Welcome to another episode of the Bureau of Technology Report. Today's episode, we're going to talk a little bit about...
Hello and welcome, this is Mr. B. Today we are going to start working with Picasso. Yesterday, in part one, you built out the walls, designed it how you wanted it, to make them what you were looking for, added the parapets at the top, like this shows. Could have added some more flags and deco it out. Any way you like to make it more personalized. Now we're going to get into the movement and coding component of the people that we want to add to our stage, our environment. Here, how do we do that? Well, first we add people to the stage, of course. Then we begin the coding process. How do we do that? But before we even take that step, we need to make sure that every person is available to be used inside the code. And it may be as simple as just animating the person or the character or actually getting them to do something. So we're going to right click on each one of them, and each one has a name. I'm going to click on the code button, and I have to say turn on and use in code. So it's got to be that blue color. Each individual person has to be turned on. Otherwise, they will not show up in your code to try to use them for coding. Okay? I think I've already got night number one added and ready. There he is. Now I'm going to turn it around. I want to make sure that I've got everybody. The Roman man is there. He's on. This person, Roman woman, she's on. The child is on. Because each one of these people, we're going to make them do something different, okay? And we turn them on, and then we turn the horses so that they can do something, okay? Whatever it is, doesn't matter. But each one has to be individually set on to do something, okay? Even if I duplicate a character or an object in there, I have to, each one has its own properties, kind of like what we talked about yesterday when we started building the walls. So what we want to do is give the appearance that our knights are trying to attack, okay? Now that we've set it up so that they can be coded, we're going to start coding. How do we do that? We go up here to the top right corner, click on the code. Now, when you first come in, you're going to be given a choice of the different blocks that you can use. How do we do that? It'll look like this. You'll either be given code blocks, TypeScript, or Python. In this sense, all of you are going to use a code block. You click on that, it opens up here, and the first thing that you see is this, when play is clicked, okay? Now, how do we do it? We look through here, and just like with the Spiro, you have all of these different action buttons that you can use, and they're all color-coded. Transform is simply nothing more than like a move, okay? The actions are like the looks. Events are like the if statements or repeats. You have controls. These are our forever repeats and if, okay? So you have those here. And then we have a couple of special ones that we can use, a run parallel and run separately. These are really nice little tools. We'll get to those in a little bit. Okay? Your operators are in mathematics. If you want to run something in a certain way, you can test it. You can use operators. You can test against true, false, all those fun stuff. Here, during your move, you can add things, you can create things, whatever you're trying to do. You have data where you can create variables if you need to. We're going to use functions in this setup. And then lastly is physics, our physics properties. Right now, we're not going to use that as much. You can if you introduce some other things, but right now we won't be doing that. We just want to get some basic movement. So I've got knight number one here. I'm going to use the transform tool, and I want to move him. So I'm going to click move, and I'm going to choose knight number one. As you notice, everybody that I've got that I made sure that they were codable all show up in my list. So I'm going to use knight number one. Now, the good part is it does allow me to duplicate, so I can just simply say night 2, and then duplicate it again, and duplicate it again. So I can just say night number 3, and then night number 4, okay? And I'm going to have them moving forward, but they're all going to move forward 1 meter. But if I play this, what you're going to see is each night moves in sequence, okay? As you see, 1, 2, 3, 4. And they only did it 1 time. That's it. Just like with Spiro. If I tell them to do this only this 1 time, that's all they do. And then they'll stop. They don't move. So we need to get it where if you can make it random, we could all make it random, and we can all move them together. Now, how do we do that? Well, here in this control, if you remember, I talked about these 2 different control factors. One is running parallel, and the other is running separately. Well, we're going to let these guys run parallel. What does that mean? That means that when the code starts, it's going to hit this run parallel, and it's going to say, oh, we want to run these all at the same time. That's what we're trying to do, okay? So when I click play, there they go, okay? These guys run, and then those guys run. And that's how it's going to work. And you saw that they only work 1 time. Now, the cool part is I can put these guys into a loop, a forever loop, or a repeat X amount of times. I could say, let's do this, put this inside of here. I want to repeat it 3 times. And click. 1, 2, 3. Boom. Done. Case closed. And that's all it did. So we can set it up any number of ways to make this work. And you can get it to where they're coming up to and then start moving into the drawbridge. It's up to you to get that movement, okay? Now, the same thing we want to do with our characters, okay? We see the knights running or moving forward toward the drawbridge while our drawbridge is down. We want to get the drawbridge up. Well, that's this lever. So one of these people, it's going to be their job to move up to the lever, okay? And then they're going to pull the lever to close the drawbridge and save the inside of the castle. Okay, we'll start that with the next segment. Good luck, I'm Mr. B.